Well, it's time to talk about a documentary for once. And now this is interesting because this is actually a TV show, the original two pilot episodes, but they're like an hour and 40 minutes long. So I'm classifying them as a documentary individually. So yeah, but it's the show A Haunting, in their episode A Haunting in Georgia, which was released sometime either in the late 1990s or the early 2000s. I couldn't pin down a date, but it is. And this is the true story of a haunting in Georgia, which is told by the people who actually lived the actual haunting, apparently. Anyways, it was written by Tom Naughton, Sherry Anderson, and Michael Ray Brown, produced by Tom Naughton, and directed by Jeff Finn, who has quite the backtrack of releases in TV movies and stuff, such as the show Cherry, Art Show Bingo, Grounded on 9/11, and No Easy Way, to name a few. So, A Haunting in Georgia is an interesting little tale where a family moves into a house in Georgia. And yeah, their young daughter and stuff, they finally are able to make ends meet, find a cheap house to live in. But then their young daughter finds an invisible friend, Mr. Gordy, who she ends up talking to, and then it starts snowballing from there. There's a lot of um visitors that come and visit, and it slowly builds to the point where the family gets scared of these other people visiting and stuff like that they can't see, and they're not sure what to do. And it goes they struggle. They're sort of like a laughing stock of the community for a while. Yeah, and the haunting just escalates and escalates, and eventually they have to reach out to someone to help them, which they actually reach out to like a psychologist who goes through the motions, see um, if it's in their mind or if it's actually them. And the cool thing about this documentary is they actually sit down with the person who did it, and he goes through and talks about how he analyzes them and stuff like that, which I find all this in-depth stuff more interesting. I know some of it's probably scripted and stuff, but if it's acted, it was done really well. And I love these type of shows and stuff like that where they actually told by people who either lived it, supposedly, or worked with it and stuff. I really like these ones, and it adds more credibility to the story and stuff. The production value in the documentary is a little cheap looking, but I gotta say, it's still way creepier than awful, um, the awful high budget film that they made for this. That's terrible, but this is actually pretty spooky and stuff like that. Some of the CG effects and stuff are a little dated now, but for the most part, it's still a fun documentary and still interesting. It does bug down halfway through though, because you go through the haunting and then it goes through like the psych evaluation, and then they realize that they are psychic and they can talk to ghosts or something like that, he thinks. And then they find Faith, and then they battle with Faith in your typical ghost story. But overall, it's still fun and interesting. It does bog down near the end though, which might make it a little bit of a drag for some people. So yeah, but I just thought I should come on here and do a short little review of it because I don't want this show to be forgotten, because it is one of the best. A Haunting has a lot of good spooky episodes and stuff like that. You find most of them on YouTube here, and it is one of the more entertaining shows out there that has a lot more credibility and is pretty decently made. So, yeah, and I find it really scary. Like for an instance, there's a part where it looks like it's like one of those really cheap movies shot on video, but they're in the kitchen. Well, they're prepping flowers, but they look in the kitchen, you just see the whole table, everything move. And for the 90s, it was hard to do that. This is before Paranormal Activity was even out and stuff like that. And you never really seen anything like that. It was like pretty well done special effects, and it freaked me out when I was a young kid watching this. And yeah, definitely. But it's also one of the ones that helped me get into horror and scary things and everything like that even more. And it helped me expand my horizon of the unknown and how much I love like all that, whether it's creatures, ghosts, whatnot. A Haunting has it all. A Haunting in Georgia is a fun time. This one is the uh more grounded in scientific evidence and proof, and trying to help explain things, which I actually really adore as well. And they don't do your typical ghost hunting stuff like you see in most films and shows now. So yeah, hunting in Georgia episode, you should definitely check it out. It is a fun time. It is one of the better documentaries out there for ghosts stories, and even trying to explain some of it. It was pretty well educational and informative. So definitely check it out. I'm giving this one a 4 out of 5, only because it bogs down and it gets a little boring in some spots for me, but each person's different, but I still think it's well done. Also, another fun fact, sometimes the people who live it are in the reenactments too and stuff, which is interesting and funny. So yeah, definitely check it out. I'm going to try to either find it on YouTube or find like a trailer or a clip or something to link that down below so you can check it out and see what I'm talking about if you've never heard of it or anything, or if you just want to relive it. So I'll link something down below and figure it out. But yeah, I just want to come on here and talk about this one and hopefully generate more interest and hopefully revitalize the interest for the show. Maybe if Netflix can bring it back or something like that. That would be cool. But yeah, so definitely check this out, especially if you're into documentaries and the paranormal and stuff. This is definitely up your alley. So yeah, also make sure you check out my Instagram. It's linked down below, where I always post clips of films that I'm going to review in the future on my story. So make sure you follow me there. I usually put the film title and the hashtag and the subgenre or subgenre of films in this case in there as well, so you're aware of it in case you're not interested or whatnot. So make sure you follow me on Instagram to stay in the loop. Like this video, share it so more people are aware of it. Comment your opinions of this show down below. Tell me your favorite memories. I'll love to hear about what you think of it and stuff. Let's start a conversation and try to get this back, or at least have all the episodes somewhere on a streaming service so we could all enjoy them. That would be cool. But yeah, so throw some comments down below for your opinions of it. I'd love to hear what you thought of it. Also, if you have any films or documentaries or anything that I want to hear my opinions on, comment those down below. I'll try my best to get to them as soon as I can if I can find them. Yeah. Like this video, share it, subscribe, because you never know what I'm going to talk about next. I got another interesting documentary like this to talk about, so that'll probably be my next one, but who knows. Hopefully we can find something interesting together and that you probably never even think of checking out. So yeah, till the next one, I guess I'll see you all in the next one. Watch out for those ghosts that are invisible friends that your kids are watching out for, because you never know, they might be real. So till the next one, cheers.